And we're live. Hello everybody. Hello and welcome to the Dixie Belle paint page. My name is Melissa. I am the owner and artist here at the Top Drawer RVA, and I am a Dixie Belle brand ambassador. Who wants to play with some paint? Let's get into it, shall we? So what you see behind me is actually part of a day bed. This bed is going to be going up into my spare room. I think you all know I'm a mom. I'm a mama bear, and two of my little baby cubs have flown the nest. So my two boys, my twin boys, are 22 and they no longer live here. So it's my turn now to decorate some bedrooms and make them the way that I want to make them. So this is a beautiful solid wood day bed that I'm going to be putting in one of those bedrooms, and it's been hanging out in the shed, and I got to get it done. I got to get this out here because company eventually will come to visit me, and I want them to have a beautiful place to stay. So we're going to talk about silk paint today. Let's see. Finishing, Suzanne's Garden. Listen, I like Suzanne's Garden and I like the Big Mama's Butter in Orange Grove, but no joke, y'all. This new flannel, it's going to knock your socks off. This new Big Mama's Butter and flannel smells like, I'm not kidding. I put it on my body. It smells that good. It smells so good. So just wait till you get your hot little hands on this one. Hopefully they'll keep this. I don't think this is part of the limited edition. I think this will stay on the shopping list. But FYI, I'm going to be ordering more like now because this is something that I need to have. This smell is too good to not have around. But stop distracting me with delicious smells. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. We're gonna get painting. So this is a solid wood day bed. I have two parts to it here on the floor. And I thought today we might be able to go over some silk painting knowledge because I've really come to love this product. I've really come to love silk and love that low luster glow that it leaves. I love the durability. I love that it's mildew resistant. My daughter has a full dresser painted in silk, and she left a big jug of water on there, and it actually took up like a huge bubble of paint, and I thought, oh no, I'm gonna have to repaint it. I'll just look at it tomorrow. And when I came back in the next day, I was like, it's totally gone. You couldn't even see where that water was sitting on top of the silk because I think that it just kind of reabsorbed and it disappeared. It's crazy. So I love this paint. So silk mineral paint is available in 20 Hampton inspired colors, okay? They're not crazy colors. If you want crazy colors, you're gonna wanna stick to the chalk mineral paint line, and I'll give you a sneak peek if you wanna see of one of the crazy colors that I'm working on right now. Let's turn the camera over here and have a little quick peek. That's all you're gonna get. I'm turning it back. You're not allowed to see anymore because I'm making a video and it's top secret. But if you want crazy color, stick to the chalk mineral paint line. And if you're looking for classic, clean color, I really think you should check out the Silk All-in-One Mineral line because it is so easy to use and you are going to fall in love with it. And I'm gonna paint this today and we're gonna talk about tips and tricks and all things silk mineral paint. You ready? Let's jump in. All right, we'll do it. So today I will be painting with Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint in Endless Shore, which is a really pretty in-between white and cream. All right, this isn't super creamy. It's actually just got one coat on the little table, or sorry, the little piece behind me, and I'm gonna be pulling that out for you to see, but it is a nice neutral color, okay? The other thing you're gonna notice about these products is that this little card of paint, right? So your little fan deck here will actually have true colors. These fan deck colors match the color of paint exactly. You're not gonna be looking at this and getting another color. This tells you like it is, okay? So if you're interested in trying some silk paint and you wanted to grab one of these little fan decks, they are available on the Dixie Belle paint page. They're available for silk mineral paint. They're available for chalk mineral paint. Having these on hand helps me as an artist plan my piece. So today we're going to be using Endless Shore, which is this gorgeous creamy color, and I'm going to teach you from step 1 to done how to work with silk. All right, let's do it. So I'm going to talk first a little bit about prep, okay? Because Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint is a different product than chalk mineral paint. There's a few extra steps that you're going to want to take in order to get your best results from this product, okay? As always, you're going to want to clean your projects. So Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint also makes a product that can be sold with silk paint. You can also use White Lightning. You're not locked into using this, but this is sold with silk mineral paint at specific standalone locations. So this is called Pristine Clean. You can hear it jiggle around there? Pristine Clean is basically the same as White Lightning. What's going to happen is you're going to take this powder and you're going to disperse it either into a bucket of water, warm water. You can use like a little scrubby pad. I personally like to repurpose old spray bottles. What happens is I disperse this into my spray bottle with water, usually warm water, so I can get a really good clean. And then I clean my projects very well with this product, okay? So the directions for Pristine Clean are 2 heaping tablespoons per gallon of hot water. If you happen to mix up in a spray misting bottle, you can keep it in here. Give it a little shake and you can keep this here for reuse. I do this all the time. Cleaning your products is key. What else you're going to need to know about Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint, and I've also taken this habit up with my chalk mineral paint, is to rinse your furniture after you use your Pristine Clean with water, okay? You want to make sure you're removing any of that residue that might be left on your project before you get started. So clean with Pristine Clean, rinse with water, and you are ready to go on to the next step. So if you were doing a chalk mineral paint project, you might or you might not sand. But with Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint, you're going to want to scuff sand your piece. It's kind of like an essential step in the way that the paint's going to help grab to your furniture, okay? So this is a piece of sandpaper I just have on the floor. This says it is 150 grit. I also use rad pads. I use all different kinds of sandpaper. Basically whatever's closest to my hand is what ends up getting used. So when I say you need to do a sand scuff to your project, this is what I mean. You're going to take your sandpaper, you fold it over, however you like to do it. I like to use small circular motions to sand scuff my wood. What this is going to do is give your paint something to grab onto. This is an important step when you're using Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint. You need to know that a scuff sand on any shiny surface especially is a necessity before you paint. You can then wipe it down and you're ready to go. So this piece right here, this solid wood end of a day bed, has been scuff sanded and cleaned with Pristine Clean. Then it has been rinsed with water to make sure that my surface is oil-free, dirt-free, and ready to go. If you have any wax residue on your project, say that this was painted before and I had waxed it, what you're going to need to do is remove any of that wax with mineral spirits, because Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint will not stick well to anything with wax, okay? So clean with Pristine Clean or White Lightning, rinse with water, scuff sand, and you are ready for paint. So why do I like this paint? I'm going to tell you right now why I like it. Because it is an all-in-one paint. Do you know what an all-in-one paint is? This is a built-in top coat and a built-in primer. So this wood looks kind of like a little bit bleedy. It looks like it might bleed a little bit. Anything that's like really old and kind of has this varnish on it, or has red wood, or any of those, you know, really oaky colors, anything with a lot of tannins, the possibility of stains coming through your paint and bleeding through your paint is a very high possibility. So using Silk All-in-One Mineral Paint is going to allow you to know that your piece is being protected from any stains and bleed through. Using silk is kind of like already using a coat of Boss. It's like you've already cut out a step. Your piece is ready to go. You're going to jump right in with painting, and you're not going to need to use Boss as a stain blocking primer. All right? All-in-one mineral paint means that. The other part of the all-in-one is the top coat. So when I am done my 2 full coats of paint on this piece, I can walk away and it's going to cure after 30 days, and it's going to be tough as nails, y'all. Tough as nails. If I can have a dresser in my preteen's room where she beats it up all the time with water jugs, makeup, perfume, all of the things, and it still looks the same as the day I painted it, that's some pretty good advertising right there. I'm a believer. If she can put it through, you know, its numbers and it sticks and it stays and it still looks that good, I'm a happy mama. All right, so what else do you need to know about silk mineral paint? Well, you need to know that it's going to be applied in a different manner than chalk mineral paint, okay? I like to use a smooth synthetic brush. Have you seen this brush before? This is a Scarlet. This brush is the perfect size for plopping right into these containers. Because silk only comes in these 16-ounce containers, this works really well for painting for me. It fits right in, I don't get a mess, I don't have to pour it out, and I like it. So I recommend using a Scarlet when you're painting with Silk All-in-One, but any synthetic Dixie Belle brush will do. okay? Because you want that nice, smooth, synthetic vibe. This paint has a self-leveling property in it, okay? What does that mean? Well, that means when you paint it on here, it self-levels. There's no need to spray it with water. If you spray your furniture with water or your paint with water and you're using silk, what's gonna happen is you're diluting the ability for it to protect with its top coat. You're diluting the ability for it to protect with its primer, okay? You can see how this paint is like a little bit thinner. Can you see how it's a bit thinner? Regular chalk mineral paint is not as thin as this. So a little of this paint goes a very, very long way. You're gonna find that you're going to use less paint because it just covers in a different manner. So a smooth synthetic brush. You're also gonna find that when you paint with your silk, you're gonna wanna keep kind of a little bit more of a neat value to your painting. Normally when you see me paint, I like an artistic finish. I'm usually all over the mat. I'm going up, down, left, right because I'm adding multiple coats. Yes, I will be applying 2 coats of silk all-in-one mineral paint, but I will be applying them in a nicer, even manner, if that makes sense. Because it self-levels, I want to keep my brush strokes fairly even. That way, when the paint goes on and it sits on the project, it's going to level itself out. You're not going to see those brush strokes. You're going to get a really pretty, glowing finish. The shine from this paint with that built-in top coat is very much like a satin top coat. If you were to ask me, I would say it might even be a touch shinier. It just has like such a pretty low luster shine. I really like it. So if this piece that I'm painting was plastic, metal, or a high shiny factory finish, I would still use another product like Slick Stick, because Slick Stick does a different kind of a job, right? You all know that Slick Stick is your bonder, your gripper for shiny surfaces, right? So if I was painting a project that was, say, like a shiny, kind of a Bombay style wood, I would use Slick Stick before I use silk. That's going to ensure that my paint is going to stick, okay? Because the built-in primer is not for Slick Stick. It's not for shiny surfaces. It's for stains, for bleed through, and for smells, okay? So what's gonna happen is if this piece was very shiny, plasticized, or maybe even had like a shiny red Bombay color finish, I would use Slick Stick before I paint. So you're seeing me apply this first coat, kind of with a heavy hand. Like, can you see how much paint I'm putting on my brush? Because I want this paint to self-level and I want it to go on smoothly, I'm kind of top loading my brush. So when I say I top load my brush and use a little bit more paint, I'm just making sure that I have enough paint on my brush to kind of pull it across, keep my strokes nice and even, cover that wood surface, and not overwork an area. Because this dries in a different manner than chalk mineral paint, it takes a little bit longer to dry. I'm gonna wait 2 hours in between coats of paint. 2 hours in between coats of paint. That's a lot longer than chalk mineral paint, where you might jump in after 10 or 15 minutes and it's dry. But you're letting your product do its job. You're letting it self-level. You're letting it block those stains. You're letting it dry, because this paint does take that little bit longer to dry. So let's pretend it's 10 minutes from now. If I came back in with this brush and started touching this whole area where it's already started to dry, it's not going to be a nice smooth finish. You want to kind of work in sections, covering the area, covering that wood with your product, with your silk all-in-one mineral paint. Nice, smoothly, evenly, right? I'm not being helter-skelter. I'm just covering all the wood. And then when I apply my second coat, it's going to even itself out. It's going to be flat and beautiful and totally delicious. The shine, I'm not joking around. When I say the shine from silk all-in-one mineral paint, it literally glows. I really, really like it. I just did my bathroom upstairs, the vanity in the kids' bathroom, with silk all-in-one mineral paint, because it's mildew resistant. So when you have a product that's got a mildew resistant property to it, that's great for bathrooms. That's great for kitchens. You're gonna be able to, not have to clean as much. It's just gonna, it dried amazing, it glows beautifully. I used a really deep blue, I believe it was like a nautical color for the bathroom. It's gorgeous. But I knew that by using Silk Alamo mineral paint, I was able to block those stains, paint 2 coats of paint, and walk away. I didn't have to top coat. I'm not worried about any stains or mildew resistant problems. Everything is going to be protected because it's in a bathroom, and y'all know kids are pretty gross. Kids are gross. So it's just giving me that extra insurance that my bathroom vanity is going to stay looking like $1,000,000. It just stays nude looking longer. It really does. For one color painting, it is the bomb. Can you blend Silk Alamo mineral paint? You can, but because you're working kind of in sections and you're not adding water to your product, right? You're not spraying your brush, you're not blending and mixing your colors around. It's a different learned style of blending. Have I done it before? I sure have. I just learned to do it while your paint is still wet on the second coat and pull those colors together. I kept separate brushes for each color and really blended them when they were damp. Remember, I use quite a heavy hand when I'm coming in with that silk, so the paint on the brush is top loaded and going on a little bit thicker. Again, this is going to dry in 2 hours. After waiting 2 hours in between coats of paint, you can come back in, add your second coat, be done with it, and walk away. It's a time saver, y'all. It is a time saver. The other thing is that I painted my whole entire vanity upstairs in the kids' bathroom, a double sink vanity, sides, front, cupboard, drawer fronts, and I used less than a quarter of my paint. You use so little. I think I just saw Miss Mustard Tree Market. Malia painted a whole entire wall with two small little jars of silk paint. A huge wall. It's nuts. It's nuts how far this paint goes. So let me go over those steps again before we move in and do a second coat on this project that I started beforehand so that I can show you how easy it is to do 2 coats of Silk Alamo mineral paint. So Silk Alamo mineral paint only comes in those 20 colors, right? This is what I did by bathroom vanity, and it's stunning. It's a stunning deep blue. You've got your built-in top coat, you've got your built-in primer. That enables you to not have to use any boss for stains or bleed through. If your project has a factory finish, if it has a shine, if it's plastic, if you're worried about your paint not sticking, you're going to want to use Slick Stick on those projects. But in general, you're going to come in with your Pristine Clean or your White Lightning, clean your project very well. After you clean your project very well, you're going to rinse it with water. After you rinse it with water, you're then able to scuff sand it so that your paint is going to grip real hard. And then you're going to come in with your paint. You're going to use your smooth synthetic brush, right, for painting. You're going to top load that brush. You're going to paint on that beautiful coat, knowing that it's going to self-level. It's going to look really, really pretty. Yes, this first coat doesn't look great, but you're going to need 2 coats of Silk Alamo mineral paint to achieve the look that you want to get. It's durable, it's washable, it's mildew resistant. It has a beautiful glow to it, and I'm just digging my silk paint. So I thought today, let's do my home projects and get some stuff done, shall we? So this one has 1 coat, right? And you all know I'm going to paint over top of this and do a total another coat. I'm just doing this for you to show you how to use the product. This piece right here was painted this morning. Okay, so this right here is dry. Let's see if I can line it up without making a big mess of myself. Okay, so this is dry. This feels smooth. It's not chalky, the same as chalk mineral paint. It has a different feel to it. So let me just see, I saw a quick question. You're gonna paint a silk cabinet. You're sick of white. Okay, so here's the deal. When you feel this, you're talking about fingerprints on chalk mineral paint. When you use regular chalk mineral paint, you're gonna find that it has a chalky feel. It has a chalky feel to that finish, right? And I seal my chalk mineral paint. I'll either use wax or I'll use a clear coat on that or gator hide. But when you come in with this paint, it feels different. It definitely feels smoother. You can almost see that glowing shine just from the 1 coat that I put on. Can you see that little shine in that curve? If you wanted to, you could top coat your silk, okay? Or say you were using a transfer and you wanted to top coat on there. Silk Alamo mineral paint has an extra coat, which is very similar to gator hide, if you ask me, in shine and durability. And you can apply this over top of your silk mineral paint. I only do this on the top of the pieces that I paint with silk. I didn't do my bathroom vanity. I actually didn't do my daughter's dresser in her room either. But the pieces that I am repurposing and selling, I always do a little top coat just on the top in case any extra, you know, wear and tear gets on there. So there is a product that you can use called Extra Coat to seal your silk mineral paint, but you totally don't have to. And I've never done it for any project that's in my home, okay? So here we go. This has been dried. This has been sitting here for a couple hours now because you want to wait those 2 hours in between. Waiting those 2 hours is important. The way that this dries, heat and humidity can affect your dry time. If you're painting in Texas where it's hot, 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 you know, it's going to be harder to get that whole first coat on without kind of overlapping. You want that nice, long, smooth stroke, right? So if you're working in an area that's like really cold, say you're working in Canada or somewhere where it's not as warm, you're gonna find that that heat and humidity is gonna affect your dry time. So just wait a 2 hour minimum, knowing that it's gonna take that long to dry, and then we can apply the second coat. All right, you still with me? Are you learning something? This is like the tutorial day today. We're not painting and getting crazy. I'm teaching today. I'm teaching you all the silk stuff. So I want to use a dry synthetic brush, right? You're not dampening your brush. You don't want to lessen the value of your top coat or your built-in primer, right? You want to keep your brush dry. Now, I'm going to do on my second coat the same thing that you saw me do on my first coat. Long, smooth strokes, working in sections. If this was a dresser, I would do a drawer, take the drawer out. I would do the next drawer, take the drawer out. Working in sections allows you to cover an area smoothly with a top-loaded brush, you know, a little bit more paint on there because it's gonna self-level. It's gonna come together and get this really smooth finish. I wonder if I can pick this up and even show you before we get started. This one coat, right? This is only one coat on here. Can you see that little bit of shine that you're getting on there? That little bit of glow? That's only one coat. What else don't you see? Well, I don't see a lot of brush strokes, y'all. I don't. It just self-levels into a beautiful finish. So let's get the second coat at least on the front of this piece so I can show you how I apply my second coat for my Silk All-in-One, okay? So again, if you're just tuning in late, the color I'm using is Endless Shore, and this is a bed, a day bed for my own home. So I am just painting my house lately. We're doing that. Hello, Sherry, how are you today? Hi, Kelly. All right, so this is a Scarlet Brush. See how much paint's on there? I like a top load because it's gonna let me keep these strokes smooth, y'all. Smooth strokes, right? Smooth, even strokes, allowing this paint to self-level. You're not using water because this paint doesn't need it. It's gonna level itself wonderfully. You're not gonna have to use water on your projects. So there you go. See what I mean, that long, smooth stroke? Can you see the difference now between one coat and two? How well this covers? Again, kind of top loading that brush, putting a little bit more product on there. You feel like you're using a lot of paint, but when you look into the jar, you're like, hey, I haven't used much paint at all because a little bit of it just goes such a super duper long way. It really does. I was shocked at how little paint I used to paint that vanity upstairs in my bathroom. It really, really went a very long way. So I'm kind of doing the edges, making sure that my edges are covered. Yikes, I hope this doesn't fall. And then I'm gonna come in here and do the edges. So when I come across with my long, smooth strokes, my edges have already been done, right? You're kind of working in sections with that nice, smooth stroke, keeping it nice and even. Lighter colors might take a little bit more paint than the darker colors, all right? That's the same in all paint brands. If it's silk or chalk mineral paint, that's always the way that it is. You might just need that little bit of an extra third coat, but for right now, I'm covering really well with these two coats of paint. Keeping my strokes nice and long, coming in, pulling it over, and getting it done. Look at how well that covers. Really, really well. And when it dries, it's gonna be so silky and shiny. What color am I using? I am using Endless Shore today. I'm using the Silk All-in-One mineral paint so that everybody can learn about all the fun things that it can do. I found that once I jumped into the world of silk, I like it because it cuts my corners, y'all. No priming and no top coating. That's like heaven to my ears. I love that. And when I did my vanity upstairs in the bathroom, you know, besides waiting that 2 hours for my paint to dry in between coats, I did that job in one afternoon. Super fast, because I didn't have to top coat. And I didn't have to fight with the top coat on a dark color because I used such a deep navy when I did my bathroom vanity. Sometimes you'll know top coating dark colors is a pain in the backside. It can be harder. It can be harder to do. So if I can find a paint that can cut that step out for me, I'm happy. I'm a happy camper because it's letting me get away with this beautiful finish. So now you can see I've painted this kind of inset panel with 2 even coats of silk. So this still only has 1 silk coat on here. You see that difference, right? See the difference between the two? It covered really well. I don't think I'm gonna need any more on top of that. What I would do is wait for it to dry and then evaluate. Come in close, have a look, make sure I didn't miss any areas. Sometimes when I'm painting on camera, it's hard to cover everything, but this looks super good to me. So this is the end part of a daybed. This is the other one. I showed you how to do the first coat behind. I also have the big long piece in the shed. I think I'm gonna drag it in and stick some wood you bend on there because the back of it looks a little bit plain and I need to zhuzh it up. Even though I'm painting nice, creamy, beautiful endless shore, I need to be a little bit fancy pants, just a little bit.